Hey everyone, this is Miss Hall coming at you live from my house in my studio at home. If you don't know who I am the art teacher at East York and Yorkshire Elementary Schools, and me and Mrs. Baird are both really excited to work together to make sure that you all have some opportunities to get creative while you're at home. So today we are going to talk about the one-line challenge, the continuous contour line drawings. Feel free to watch my videos, and then if you are up for a challenge, if you look up one line drawing challenge on YouTube, there are tons and tons and tons of videos. This is just a really great exercise to help you become a more confident drawer. So please remember that's exactly what this is. It's an exercise. It's just like practice for anything else you would like to get better at. So let's jump in.
All right, everybody, let's get moving and grooving on this continuous contour line exercise. One thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is that it is just that, an exercise. So I have a whole stack of paper right here. You could also do this in a sketchbook, or if you made a sketchbook, you could do this in there. You could do this with pencil. I'm going to do this with Sharpie. I like to do this with Sharpie or marker because then I can't go back and erase anything. I can't change anything. And our goal is to draw just the contour lines of our object, just the outside edges and some of the details, just using one line. Now remember, it's an exercise. An exercise is just like anything else you want to get better at. If you want to get better at a sport, you got to go to practice. If you want to learn how to play the piano, you got to take some time and practice. It's the same thing with drawing. So please give yourself a little bit of grace. Don't, be too hard on yourself because those negative thoughts aren't helpful to you and they're not going to make you a better drawer. So just remember that each new drawing is a chance to learn something new. So I'm going to start with this little owl guy that I have. You can find lots of different things around your house to draw. If you've got any flowers, pair of scissors, if you got a pet, you could draw them. It's easier if they're asleep because then they're not moving. But the goal is that I'm going to start with my Sharpie. I'm going to use my eyes to trace the shapes that I'm seeing, and I'm just going to work my way around and see how much I can get done. So let's take it from here. What I want you guys to keep in mind is that I'm keeping my eyes on the object 90% of the time, and I'm not picking my pencil up. So I'll check down just to make sure I'm right about where I need to be. You can trace over lines that you already did, that's just fine. And remember, this is just an exercise, so it might not look totally as you thought it would, and that's all good too. It's almost like a maze, like you're trying to find your way around the object. I'm working my way around. I found the feet. I'm going to come up in here, try and get some of these little loops that I see. Notice I'm adding some extra lines so that I can connect them, and that is all good, no worries. Now I'm going to make my way out and do the same thing on here because they have sort of these little loops. And I'm done. Whole thing took me about 30 seconds. Well, I'd say it's pretty cute. Does it look exactly like it? No, absolutely not. And that is just fine. Nobody said it needed to look exactly like it. So I'm going to do the same thing but with a different object. I have this little flower in a bottle, and I'm actually going to just do it on the same piece of paper because I want them to sort of just be a group of continuous contour line drawings. So let's see how this goes. Let's see, I'm going to put this guy right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my eyes. I'm going to start right down here at the bottom corner of my bottle. And one thing we want to really make sure of is that you're really looking at this object. You're not letting your brain tell you, oh, well, I know what a flower looks like. I'm just going to draw just a random flower. And that's not what we're doing here. We're drawing this flower. So I'm letting my eyes trace over those leaves. You'll notice that my lines are looking a little bit weird And that is all good. Like I said, don't worry about it. It's just an exercise. Nobody's asking you to be perfect right now. Just going around and around. I see that there's some zigzaggy lines here on my leaves. If you run out of space and you have to go off the edge of the paper, it's all good. Remember, it's an exercise. And I'm looking at each one of these leaves. This is a really great kind of mindfulness technique. Help you just make sure that you're being present, just focusing on this one object. See, they have some little leaves down here, a nice big center. Okay, so that's drawing number 2. Pretty close, right? But it's certainly not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So my challenge to you all would be to find a few things around your house, grab yourself a pencil or a Sharpie or a marker or whatever you have available to you, and just practice those continuous contour line drawings. And I promise this is a great exercise to help you to be a more confident drawer.